All right. So as we start to get to the end here, teach us in first person. Obviously, you've enacted a lot of what we've discussed in your own life. Share your system or habits that you can't live without because it transformed your productivity.
I've started doing my Friday planning session religiously to think about what are my priorities for the next week. And I am very careful to look at both professional priorities and personal priorities because I'm one person. I can't have two lists because I have two lives. I don't have two lives. I'm one person. And my 168 hours of the week is going to encompass both of those roles. So right there on the list that says I need to call my editor to get things squared away for my next book will be take my 4-year-old to the Y to go swimming during the time where you don't have to have the life jacket on because he needs to practice. He needs to learn how to swim. So those will both be there right together because, again, I am one person. And so they all have claims on my time. I'm also trying to be good about getting up in the morning, which may sound funny since I wrote a whole book about what the most successful people do before breakfast, and yet I am not a morning person. I have never claimed to be a morning person. I admire people who get up and do amazing things in the morning, and I am just not one of them. And for years, the issue, I at least told myself, is that I had 3 small kids, and they often woke me up earlier than I wanted to be up anyway. So it was hard to get much done other than, obviously, their care in the morning, which is a very important thing, too. But that started to change in the last year or so. They're getting a little older. They're capable of sleeping. So I have started setting an alarm, and it's actually been pretty good for me. I've set an alarm at 6, which probably sounds incredibly late to a lot of people listening to this, but it's early for me, so we have to work with what we have. I wake up at 6, and I can get an hour, 20 minutes of work done. And it's a good time to do difficult work. It's a good time to do anything that requires mathematical thinking for me. It's a good time for cranking out first drafts because that's time I can really focus. I sit there with my coffee, I crank it out. Then later in the day, I can do different kinds of work, more editing, calling people. Those are things that don't require that same level of focus. But that's been interesting as I've been doing that. And it's been an adjustment because I'm having to learn to go to bed earlier, which is not something that I am in the habit of doing. And I'm having to learn to manage my energy through the day because if I get up earlier, that means that I hit that 3 p.m. slump even harder. It feels like quitting time. And often it can't quite be quitting time. I still have things I need to get to. So I really have to be so careful about taking that break, getting a change of scenery, doing something to refocus myself for the rest of the day.